Good morning. I'm halfway in and halfway out. Now, I did move the lights and I have created a tunnel, but I've done something a little extra. See, a few months back, a guy said in the comments, he said, why didn't you just change the loft ladder? So I didn't have to have this raised section. And I thought about it. And I've searched around. I've had a search for other loft ladders, but there was nothing suitable. But could I actually modify the ladder? What happens if I cut the corner off the ladder? Well, not this bit, the bit I'm stood on, the bit that slides up to here. What if I cut the corner off that? What would that do for me? Well, I had some measuring, and what I came up with was I would be able to drop the raised section by about an inch and an eighth. But you'd be absolutely criminally insane to take up 5 yards of triple track, mess around with your inclines just to lower this bit up here by an inch and an eighth. So I did. Let's go have a look at the result. You see, as yet I haven't reached the point of no return. What's the point of no return? Well, that's the bit where you glue down the ballast, which means moving the track would be incredibly difficult and damaging to the track. It's very difficult to get up N-gauge track once it's glued down. Well, you can get it up, but you destroy it in the process. So at the moment, everything is just pinned down to this softboard. So if I want to move it, I can move it. If I want to get rid of a siding, I can. If I want to add a siding, I can. This length here is curved. If I wanted it dead straight, it would be no bother doing it. Right up to the moment that I ballast it, and then it's glued down. So what on earth have I done?
So for starters, the lights did get moved. I put on these little bits of timber. This is what I mean about being able to move things. If I didn't like this, I could simply rearrange it, just pull the track pins and move it to wherever I want to. But I do like it, so I didn't. But here I took a point out and a siding that went off at a funny angle. And on the branch line, fiddle yard, I added 2 sidings. So now I have 7 storage roads. I've been adding a little bit of art, putting up my signs that I have collected. Didn't know where to put that, it didn't seem to fit anywhere. So it ended up there. To the trains. You notice the way I'm putting off showing you what I've done with the track. The Flying Scotsman and my American tobacco. Now down here nothing has changed other than I've narrowed these 2 bits of spare because I want to have a deep gorge below the track. And now we get into the actual changes. Lots of card kits. Now with the drop in height, I was able to remove an awful lot of the riser. And by pure chance, by turning it on its side, it was more or less the right height. So I've reused it. And I've got my viaducts, and I've got my bridges, and I've got a little bit of separation. There's the tunnel entrances, a single and a double. And the actual tunnel at the moment. It's a square box, but it will look better. And I can bring roads through the bridges, so that adds to the scenery. 2 tunnel entrances there. The riser led on its side. 2 bridges, a double and a single. The other thing I've got is a lot of my back scene back, because it's lower down. I've got my back seam. Now this bit hasn't changed.
Now there's always going to be somebody who'd say that didn't happen in real life. You didn't have two bridges very close together. But of course you do. See, if you all sat in the middle of an LMS or an LNER region where there was only one train operator, then certainly there would have only been one bridge. But I live in an area where the GWR and the Midland Railway used to compete. So you did see bridges side by side. You even saw stations side by side. There's a little town not too far from here where the GWR station and the Midland station was separated by 100 yards. Simply because of the topography, the only way of getting into the town and out the other side was exactly the same way. So you had competing railways right next to each other, bridges right next to each other within a few yards. And as I say, a pair of stations that were 100 yards apart. They really did duplicate everything when they were competing. In fact, the track bed from Gloucester to Bristol is incredibly wide, and that's because it was shared by the Midland Railway and GWR. And in fact, they used to race each other, even though they ended up in different stations in Gloucester. They used to race each other over the 30 miles or so. I suppose the next thing we need to do is to test it. Cheerio.